And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome once again to the Yoku Masaki Show. I am your host, the self-proclaimed cat ear extraordinaire. As always, my co-host Mark was with me tonight. Today is the 19th of April, 2017. Today is a special episode. We're getting things prepped up because we're getting things ready for the Kalasakhan and everything like that. So I'm in the moment of just you have to pardon me. I have to take care of a few things in the case of it because I'm sorry, people. My mother is calling me, and we're streaming live in this case right now. So I'm gonna take this.
I'll blab for a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Mark, why don't you take care of a little few things? Just take care of a few things. I'm gonna take care of something my mother wants me to take care of it.
Don't leave me very long. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? I feel like Aaron when he had to do his whole thing all by himself when Dan was sick. Be like, it's so hard doing it by myself. I don't know what to talk about. I'm boring as hell. I just talk about nothing. That's basically me right now. So yeah, we were experiencing a little bit of storms earlier. A couple of big heavy storms went through the area. I was kind of getting concerned that we might not have a podcast tonight because the lightning was literally nonstop. It just kept going. So luckily enough, that was south of here where I'm at. So I'm still good with my power, and it sounds like Rafferty was there. Yoku was still good with his power too. So I'm glad that we were still able to do the podcast tonight. So
sorry about that, folks. This is what happens.
Thank God, I almost died.
This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you have set up a podcast in your own home. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who've done podcasts in their own homes have to deal with the fact of it, and you end up having your mother living with you in the spaces of that. So, well, at least everyone knows Mama Masaki is in the case of it. But yeah, just to put things out there, before we get started on some of the topics and all that, I just want to remind people, ladies and gentlemen, that for those out there who've been following me since knowing about it, I will be at Kalasakhan this year. Me and Mark, of course, will be there. In the case of it, I don't know if he'll be there all the weekend, but I will be there all the weekend.
I'm gonna try to be there every day, even if I have to drive back and forth.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like I said, I have to. I just put in my case of it. It's just the fact of Kalasakhan is, like I said, Kalasakhan is doing this thing new now when it comes to trying to make you with the photographer end of it, the passes are a lot more expensive and it's just ridiculous. So I'm just it's just that case of it. So I have to deal with that. But if anything. If you guys, want to see me and check everything out on that case of it, make sure you check out Kalasakhan's website. Follow them on Twitter. They follow me on Twitter and time to time too. So it's always a little thing about that. And a lot of people apparently are telling me I'm famous now because of the fact that Jessica Negri is responsible for becoming the Kalasakhan because of the fact that well. One of my
you kept pushing it.
I know. Everybody's like, oh, well, when I was playing Overwatch earlier this week, one of my friends was telling me, she's like, you're famous now, you know that, right? I'm like, how? And she's like, because you're the one who's responsible for Jessica Negri coming to Kalasakhan. I'm like, I didn't even think I was. I don't even think I was.
You might have planted the seed though, dude, because how long ago was it that you got to see her and was like...
Last year. New York Comic Con was last year, so that was...
Okay, so you had a year to ruminate on it, so...
Yeah, that's true.
You planted the seed.
Yeah, I didn't expect that would be just me. I'm pretty sure there's a couple other people who got involved in that case of it, so... But yeah, just want to remind people on that case of it. I am not booking for Colossacon's shoots on this case of it. However, I may consider next year. So if you are planning on coming next year and you want to shoot with me and you're a cosplayer yourself, make sure you contact.
So that he knows that he can do it.
Yep, make sure you contact me. You can go to my website, jiraimedia.com, or you can send me an email. You can check out my Instagram and my Twitter and my Facebook to find out more on that case of it. Also, I want to give a personal shout out to my good friend Cube the Third. His podcast, Otaku Midnight, I was recently listening to. He's got a setup for his podcast, and I really want to get him on the show. He's one of the few people, con friends, that I've talked to for many times. He's the only person who really is convincing me to return to OhioCon because of the fact that the last OhioCon I went to was the first time I actually met him. And we do keep each other in touch on Twitter time to time. And, you know, his podcast, Otaku Midnight, which if you have not done that, you should definitely go to his YouTube channel and Google Otaku Midnight Podcast. Check him out, TRI. Tell him that Yoku sent you. He's one other good friend of mine that I don't talk to time to time, but he's one of the good ones out there that his podcasting, I think, has potential as well in the case of it. Aside from those situations, let's get on today's topics. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do have topics that that'll be discussed about. Yeah, I have topics to talk about. Yeah, we do have structure, somewhat. The first topic, and I want to thank some of my friends who brought in some of these situations for these topics as well. The first thing is we have to talk about game news. First off, a lot of people have been talking about this game in the case of it, and I haven't played the game, but I have seen a lot of people talking in the case about it, and I've seen a couple of my friends play about it, and that is Persona 5. A lot of people who know about the Atlas game series have been saying big things about Persona 5. The gaming changing is the same. The animation is great. The fact that there's going to be a prequel anime series as well since the success of Persona 4. Now, I have not played Persona 4. I have not played Persona 3. My last time of playing the Persona series was actually Persona 2, and the only reason why was because I believe the character's name was Junpei. He was one of the characters I was attached more to. That was the last time I actually have known of the Persona series. I had seen plays of Persona 3. I had played Persona 4 Arena, the fighting game inspired by the Persona 4 game itself. But I have not played Persona since Persona 2. But I have heard great things about it. I have seen the Persona 4 animation, which was really great too. And I'm looking forward to Persona 5's animation as well. It's crazy this series has gotten as large as it is because I had not known anything about this series except I believe it was Nocturne. I believe it was part of the Devil May I believe it's called the Devil Care Saga, something like that, from Atlas, and I've heard a lot of things about the game in the case of it. But I don't know how much many people have known about the game in the case of it. I've seen only a few of the play in the game of it, but it looks interesting so far.
Sadly, I have never played Persona, and I know all my friends are like, "You've never what?"
Yeah.
But I've heard that the new one is very, very good.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing too. My friend Ukamen is one of the few people who I know has pre-ordered the game and purchased it himself and is playing it now. I am honestly, like I said, it's one of those games I'll probably test it out to see if it's any interest. But I have seen a lot of memes on the YouTube world about it as well, which is interesting. But when it comes to the gameplay, like I said, the last time I played one of the Persona games was Persona 2, which was the last one I played. But I have seen plays of the third game. I have known of the existence of the fourth one through the animations and the Arena game, the fighting game Arena. But aside from that, I have not played any of the official games in themselves except up to Persona 2. So I'm looking to see if Persona 5 will be the one that will bring me back. Aside from that, if you've played the game yourself, let me know what you guys think of the game. Let me know what you guys love or hate of the game. You'll probably hear this in some cases in that, but you never know if it comes to the point I decide to play it or not. Another topic I want to bring up is one that actually fits right up there in our nerd situation. Tesla Studios You probably heard the news about this from some of you who are listening right now. But what we've just known about it, I've known only a little bit about this, but from what I've known, information from articles that I've read, and from one of my friends who've known about it, it's about the Tesla suit. And the Tesla suit is from, of course, from the startup Tesla Studios, which is a full body haptic feedback ensemble, and that gives you a full virtual reality experience in the game. And it's the next thing about it.
Page right now.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. It's got fucking climate control.
Yeah, climate
And
control.
it's washable.
Yes, it's
What?
washable. It's haptic feedback devices within it. It is there's two models that are in mind. The Pioneer, which is 16 individual points of feedback on the upper and lower body, or 30 depending on the type of campaign page that you're looking at. And then there's the second model, which is called the Prodigy, which has 52 discrete channels. And as again, it's neoprene two-piece interlaced with conductive thread that tricks the senses using neuromuscular electrical stimulation, which like basically means it's like a basic mild shocks upon the body in human speak, and gives it like a low power ab building devices that you like see in the commercials. And it completes the getup with a T-belt that contains the brains, Bluetooth, all radio, and a battery that will drive the suit up to 4 days of moderate use. And with the suit, it gives more of a tactical sensations with different strengths and durations of impulse. Its pitch is being able to mimic anything from basic interactions with objects in the virtual world to impacts of things such as bullets coming past you, explosions, stimuli, and it's also planned to ship with the player software and pre-programmed simulation routines. It's like paintball games or beyond gamings or virtual meetings apps in the case of it. This is the next level of it. I believe it's hoping to, from what they're saying, the Kickstarter, which is up now, is trying to reach up to $350 million, I believe. I could be wrong on that decimal. I'm horrible in math. Within that much of it, or 250,000 million pounds to make the suit a reality within these two models. But this is to change the experience in virtual reality, along with the fact of using within the fact of the Oculus Rift as well. So this seems very, 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 very interesting on the case of it, because this is the next level in what we're doing with virtual VR work.
And not only that, but they've integrated, I'm reading it now, they've integrated multiple platforms, streaming service, you name it. It comes basically plug and play.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
I'm actually very interested of how this is with the electronic shocks status of it, because
Right. I'm just like, that's going to feel so weird if you get like hit with the bomb and be like, what?
yeah, because the last, I remember, and I'm pretty sure you remember this, Miss Mark. It's crazy how we've come so far in technology with this type of technology since like early in our career. Because like years ago, I'm pretty sure many people remember when the N64 came out, we had the Rumble Pack, which is to give you that experience in the control. And for those who are outdated from the younger generation who don't know what this is, I'll let me bring you the description on that.
Oh God, there's people who don't know what that is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's weird that people don't know what that is. For those who don't know, when Nintendo created the Nintendo 64 console, they had this device called a Rumble Pack, which is basically a charge-discharge accessory
it's what's
pack.
built into all the controls nowadays.
And it was built. But yeah, this was even before the status of the PlayStation was even developed with the DualShock controllers.
Yeah,
but
it basically was released and had its I don't know, its premiere, its showcase with Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
And basically one of the items that you get in Ocarina of Time was the Rumble Stone. And it looked exactly like the Rumble Pack. It's a lot like the new Breath of the Wild, where the Sheikah Slate looks exactly like the Switch. They've done this for like several platforms. Mm-hmm. They've done this for years. Mm-hmm. And so with the Rumble Stone, the cool thing about it is that you could actually either have like actual... It would help you in some of the trials, but most of the time it was actually just a tertiary thing that it wasn't vital for beating the game or anything like that. Like you can unlock hidden areas, treasure, you name it. You can dig different places, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's starting to rumble. I can find it." So it was kind of like their introduction to it, where it wasn't too important, but at the same time they wanted to put it in on a scale, because literally you could go anywhere in the world of Ocarina of Time and find things with it. So like the scale of it, and the breadth that they had was, but you didn't have to have it in order to actually play the game, which was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was the early advancement before then, and then of course later on down the line, other consoles would take that same technology and use it upon their controllers.
Nintendo does it time and again, man.
But Nintendo
did it with the gyroscopic technology in the Wii.
Yeah,
and then everybody else took it
before it took it. Yeah, because honestly, and as much as I'm a Sony boy, a lot of people know this. I am a Sony man. I am Sony by heart. I love everything Sony has developed on it. But even they were late. They were late in the game on this. The Move never came out. The Move was developed right after the Wii. The Move didn't come out till years after the Wii came out. So I'm sorry, Nintendo was advanced with that. They're always on the. They are.
The thing that people complain about is they're like, oh well, it wasn't so good, but it's like, dude, it's the first of its kind. You can't bitch at them for being the first to develop something new, and then when everybody else gets it and learns from their mistakes in a quicker, path, it's like you can't even compare the two. They're the first that developed something outside of the box, and multiple times, and then they're just like, oh well, it wasn't good. Most prototypes aren't. It's funny.
Yeah,
and it looks like the Tesla suit is basically taking the Oculus Rift, taking what they learned from that and incorporating more in it.
Exactly, and that's the difference between the Tesla suit and most other prototypes devices that have been used with the Oculus Rift and the VR units.
Exactly, is that they're learning from it, they're incorporating it.
They're incorporating with it, and it's not something of their own model. In the case of it, it's more to add on within the case, because I'm pretty sure if this Tesla, and if this Tesla suit actually gets its full funding and it becomes more advanced within most other devices and consoles and uses, other companies will get in the benefit with the factors with that. They will be asking for this technology. I'm pretty sure of it, because
widespread.
Yeah, case in point, Nintendo, PlayStation with the PlayStation VR has done that with some cases with their console. I'm guaranteeing you Sony will contact them to see and get on board on this to add more for their functionality with their PlayStation VR. That would be like a saints in on that case of it. So I already can see that happening with the technology and the funding made from this suit. And that's why I'm just looking at the fact like I said, that's the reason why I wanted to bring up on this factor, because we come so far. And from what I've observed over the years, and technology has changed so much to give us more of that interactive experience, to the close point we are of getting something as simpler as a virtual reality room area that gives us the same experience as if we're there. And we're close to getting that with technology like this incorporated in the case of coming forward in that sense of it. And that's what I love about hearing stuff like this, and that's why I definitely wanted to bring this up in tonight's show, was the fact that I wanted to show the fact that this is the type of technology that I'm just I'm looking forward to seeing in the case of it.
It's gonna be the new sport, and hopefully it'll be the new determining factor for competitions and things. You know how everybody that trope of hopefully combat like this will help outcomes of nations and things like that. That way we don't have to have as much war. Have this shit. Slap these on the soldiers and fucking have games and shit and win.
That reminds me of
the Hunger Games, that shit, but with
Hunger Games and Toys, the Robin Williams movie.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. For some reason, it reminds me, because if anybody remembers the movie with Robin Williams and LL Cool J in it, that was one of the general's plans, was using kids' video games excitement to pilot weapons, military weapons, and that's
Gamer.
And more of the gaming use of it. Yeah, but
Gamer the movie.
Yeah,
the original movie Gamer back in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm thinking you're talking about the movie with Gerard Butler.
No, that's the new one. I didn't bother looking. No, the old one where it was they were literally piloting things that were happening in the real world, and they're like, oh shit.
Oh, so you're talking about war games?
Yeah.
with Matthew Broderick, I believe.
They
Yeah.
had one where it was called was it
Yeah.
called- I thought that was the original one. Hold
Yeah, I
on.
think it was the movie. It was the '80s. Matthew Broderick was in it, I
Let
believe.
me let me double check here.
Yeah. War Games, 1983 American Cold War science film. Uh, Stars Matthew Broderick, Dabney Coleman, John Wood, and Alan Sheedy. A supercomputer programmed to predict possible outcomes of nuclear war. Uh, believing it to be believing and gets the war operation plan response to run a nuclear war simulation, originally believing it to be a computer game, but the computer, tied to nuclear weapons control system and unable to tell the difference between simulation and reality, attempts to start World War III.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's weird. I can't find anybody that's like, ooh.
No, that's the movie. Because he taps into
It was
the operation
also
systems.
a book, though, is what I thought it was, based off of the book.
Um,
The late 70s. I don't.
yeah, because
I'm trying to look at it.
Yeah, because they even made a sequel in 2008, which I didn't even know about. It was a sequel. Nobody knew about the sequel. Well, there's no famous people in that one. No wonder. Yeah, apparently in 2008 there was a sequel. But yeah, the original movie was a box office hit. Matthew Broderick was in it. But yeah, Dabney Coleman is in it. Because the voice of the computer was also in the movie to Joshua, I believe.
Oh, there's another one called Stay Alive. That was interesting. It's one where if you died in the game, you died in real life.
Let me see.
But I was thinking about the one in the 80s. I think it was War Games. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the slasher film in 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that one that was similar to that, but the original that I was thinking of was the one in the 80s where they were like, playing different ones.
Yeah, because if I'm correct, Stay Alive had what's his name in it? Frankie Muniz
Yeah.
and Adam Goldberg. So that one was a horror movie, whereas in War Games is the one that you're probably more thinking of because it's more of the fact that
I have
yeah.
a feeling I have.
no, but it's just more of the fact of the but War Games is more connected to what you're talking about in reality in the case of it that War Games. But Toys in the movie Toys was the same prototype situation. The general who was the antagonist in the movie, he was able to train kids using their gaming instructions, thinking they're playing video games, but in reality they're piloting weapons.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's definitely it.
Yeah. See, I only noticed because I watched the movie a couple months ago, and I was like, I didn't even know L.L. Cool J was in the movie. I'm like, I know Robin Williams is in it, and I didn't know he, and then, Joan Cusack is in it too. And I'm like, it's weird. Her role in that movie is so weird because she plays a toy technically in that movie, spoiler alert, but at the same time, she plays a toy in Toy Story.
Oh, man.
So it's like, it's weird. It's really weird. But I understand.
It definitely echoes with, I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of the Overwatch characters' backstories, yeah?
Pretty much, yes.
So it's just like Diva, where they take the StarCraft, champions and put them in the mechs.
Which is kind of funny because they did mention that in her story arc that she was a StarCraft player.
Yeah, she was the world champion.
That's
right.
Yeah. Blizzard, of course, is going to run with that, be like, yeah, we're going to take one of our games and put that into the mix of things. So yeah, but yeah, that same technology in that same case of it could be the next thing with this Tesla.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping because it's definitely going to be not only interesting on the the shallow layer of it, where for entertainment purposes, but definitely for training and things like that too, because that way you can actually experience it without having yourself in danger when you are essentially training and things like that. And I think that's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Also, one side note, gonna give a shout out to Hollow Feast and Colby Plays for joining in. Thank you, Castile Feels, who might be a future guest on the show. Thank you for hosting on this show as well on the live stream. If you are watching us live on a live stream, feel free to just bring yourself into our discussions while we're talking about all this random stuff that pop up in the channel. If you want to discuss on that. Otherwise, if you're watching this and you're listening to the pre-recording on this as well, make sure you stay tuned every time we're going to be on live and talk about this case for the show. You'll have there will be many opportunities that you will have a chance to discuss on the show, to discuss in the channel and all that, and let your friends know in that case of it. So don't worry in that case of it.
If you want to talk about something, pop onto his page.
Yeah, I have to on a side note, I have to bask a little bit in this little bit of this happiness because I recently downloaded a podcasting app. Just because the fact that I still listen to other people's podcasts any time of it, and it's bizarre that I see mine in the long list along with other people's podcasts, and I'm just like, I'm finally getting something that I wanted to do for a long time with this discussion here, and I'm like, I'm right here with I believe, and I'm like, I'm looking at from everyone's from Kevin Smith's to Jenna Marbles to Grace Hilbig and Shane Dawson's and the completionist Gerard, so I'm just like, it blows my mind on some cases about that. So thank you.
Getting up there, man. Getting up there.
I know, but thank you for everybody out there. And
little people.
Yep, for little people. I'm hoping things will get better when it starts growing in the case of it. But it's all up to you guys on that case of it. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. Anywhere you can just Google in, just type in the Yoku Masaki Show. You'll definitely see us on there. We are out there now. With that being stated, let's go on to the next topic. One of my friends wanted to bring up about Nier Automata, which is technically a sequel from Square Enix of a game called Nier, but it's not a continuation. It's more of an open world game in the case of it. Now, I played the demo for this game actually, so I have a little bit of experience of knowledge in this game. The controls are a little bit different from most games that I've known about, but it's definitely Square Enix up in that manner. The one thing that I really like is the fact that they have this feature in the game that you could actually punch the Platinum CEOs and Square Enix executives in the DLC. This is an actual DLC that you can actually get.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy on that case of it. Now, that's the reason why I wanted to bring this up. Really, the reason why in the game is the fact is because of that. But the game is not bad. It's just a lot of tactical for the open range on that. But if you're
I haven't touched it, so I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. I believe, like I said, it's way advanced compared to the original Nier game. So if you played the Nier game, don't expect it to have that same feel in the case of it, but just know that it's from the same developing team on that case of it. It follows the same, but I think the reason why it's in that same range is probably because of the same development team. But it's way advanced compared to the original Nier game. Now, the original Nier game didn't really catch much of my eye, but it was a lot advanced compared to most of the games that Square Enix had done for PlayStation, and I believe the PlayStation 3 that the game came out on originally, and I only knew a little bit about it because some of the characters were just very bizarre for me, and the story was very interesting. This game is a little bit different in that case of it, but it's still worth the check out, right up there with Persona 5. I honestly, only reason why I have not in advance in the purchase of that is the case of it is it's more of a rental for me. The most certain games that I would plan on getting would be more rental wise for me and less on the game of it, because a lot of people don't know I'm a very picky gamer. Very, very picky gamer.
Rather spend $6 or $8 just to try it out for a little bit than
but it's worth the rental. It is worth the rental if you're willing to invest in it for like a week or so in some cases in the case of that. But the story arcs, the design work, the graphics is beautiful. The controls are a little bit different, but it is worth it on some cases about that. But it's not as big as the hype as Persona 5. Honestly, I honestly can understand why Persona 5 is hype of it, because like I said, I've known of Persona since Persona 2, and that game's hype of it. I'm just surprised it's like still continuing on to this day with that in some cases a point of it. So with that being said of with the Persona 5, I hope they do a Persona 5 Arena though. I did like Persona 4 Arena. That was really a game that was very nice to get myself back into the world of Persona into, and just from a different advance. And I put that up there with, of course, Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, which I think I've played a lot. For those who followed me on stream, know I've played Guilty Gear for a while. The last Guilty Gear recently. Yeah, I dabbled a little bit in it. It's more of my brother's territory in some cases, I guess, because he's a big Guilty Gear fan in some cases about that. But he's also a big SNK fan too, which I want to get into next on that case of it. Garo Mark of the Wolves. I really am looking to see if I should purchase that game, because I've not played that game since I've played the main version of the game, which is the digital hack of the emulator of it. So it's been years since I played that, but I've just found out the fact that that game has been re-released now for the PlayStation Network, so I'm gonna have to see and look into getting that as well. But aside from that, like not too much in detail I can talk about some cases in near amount to, unless you're familiar with the game. With that being stated, though, like I said, it's on all consoles. I'm pretty sure they have it also on Steam as well as on PS4 for Nier Automata. But with that being, aside from that, it's the hype on that game just died. I think mostly when the demo came out for the game of it. And like I said, I got a chance to play the demo in some cases about it. Also, another topic I wanted to bring up, changing on to that subject, is a few stuff that shows that I recently found out. But people know this, but most of the time when I'm not gaming on the case of it, I'm too much crept on Netflix, as most people probably are. And recently I've been on this entire binge of The Real Ghostbusters, now being completely on Netflix. They have the entire series on Netflix.
Was that the cartoon animated one?
Yeah, the animated cartoon from the early 80s.
I haven't seen that in,
it's
got to be 15 years.
Yeah. I am so shocked that the entire series is on Netflix now. It's the second series, my next retro series that I've been watching since Gem and the Holograms. Which, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do watch the Gem and the Holograms animated series. So, but I've been watching that for recently because I have not seen the Ghostbuster anime series since then. Because I tried watching it on Sony's app, the Crackle app, which is a terrible app, by the way, for those out there who have not used that thing. It's ridiculous. They really need to fix things on that app. Seriously, there's so much potential they could have put on that app that it's terrible. So thank God Netflix took it that show and brought it on there. But I've been binge watching on that. But for some weird reason, I have been watching a lot of Bollywood.
Very nice. I haven't touched that in a long time.
Oh man, there's Mark. There's two movies in particular that I watched recently, and the two movies are called. One of them is called Krish, I believe it's called, which is Krrish. And it's about this guy who lived in the wilderness, who was raised in the wild as a circus performer, but becomes a masked superhero with this DNA in his body. His father was a scientist, and he's a DNA. So his DNA allows him to become this masked superhero. And the way he looks like a mix between a rock musician and one of the mystery men. That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like. He's not wearing tight. And the thing is his outfit is not like this tight super suit. It's like literally black leather, black on black on black, with like a giant trench coat, and his mask is like all this jaggedness. But
that's cool.
But the weird thing is that in the movie, there's two things about the movie that really stuck out for me on this movie in particular. First off, he plays the actor who plays the character, the main character, also plays the father in makeup.
Oh, nice.
I've seen a lot of Bollywood movies do that, whereas in the main characters are playing one but two parts. Another movie I'll bring up in a minute, which is similar to that, which was really weird for me. That movie, but Krish was one of them. I saw they had Krish 1 and Krish 3 on Netflix. Both of those movies had the guy playing the father and the son. And he's the young son. He's got the long black hair, big chin, muscle bound. And then like most Bollywood movies, for people who have never seen a Bollywood movie, it could go really, really serious. But if it comes to some point when it comes to romance, they were willing to stop the entire movie story arc just to focus on that part of the romance to turn the whole film into a freaking music video. They'll do that. They'll do that every time. Like when it comes to romance, they're gonna just automatically stop everything and do a music video. Like everyone in the entire cast and crew would probably in it, and they do that every time in the movies. I'm like, okay, I understand you're trying to express your love for this girl, but you have a story to go finish in this movie. Why are you stopping right now?
It's like Scott Pilgrim, because they definitely took a lot of that.
Especially with the first X. Yes, yes, with the first X too. I'm like, okay, why are you doing this? Stop singing and dancing and coordinate dancing and get back to the story. We don't need to know how much you care about this girl and this guy. We don't need to know all that story. That literally happened in the movie. The third movie I watched of Krish 3, because like I said, I watched 3 movies. It was Krish 1 and Krish 3. Krish 3, the story arc basically was about this guy who finds out he's a psychic who's paralyzed, and he's like killing people, but then he creates these superhuman beings, and he's taking animal parts to turn him into these super meta-human creatures. And
it sounds almost exactly like JoJo's Bizarre. Like I just recently got caught up to the second season. I finished the second season. It's ridiculous. It's so weird.
Jeez, yeah, but yeah, one of the characters is this girl who is supposed to be like the villain's assistant, and she has, I guess, like this jellyfish type of power, a chameleon type of DNA in her body, like a human, that she's able to shapeshift into other people. So within the story arc, she shapeshifts into the main character's girlfriend, and the weird thing is the main character's girlfriend is a famous actress, Piara Chopra, I believe her name is pronounced, who, she's been doing a lot of American films, but a lot of people know her from the TV show on ABC called Quantico. Indian actress. She's actually, I believe she's also supposed to be the antagonist in the Baywatch movie with Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron, but she's been doing a lot of American films. She actually is in those movies as the love interest in the movies. But in the movie, but in Krish 3, the villain, his assistant, who's a shapeshifter, she shapeshifts into Klish's, the superhero's girlfriend, and she ends up falling in love with the guy in real life. God. I'm like, this is exactly a plot from an anime. And of course, in the movie, the first thing to happen is, like, when it gets to the climax part, she starts helping the hero. She's like, I'll help you take you to the villain. And the villain's like, I knew you were going to take him to me, and I knew this all along. I had his powers, and he ends up killing her. I'm like, I see this happening in an anime. For some reason, they could turn this movie into an anime. It's so bizarre.
Yeah. Bizarre adventure, you say.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so weird when I saw that, when I see the movie and all the case of it. The whole story arc, it's like something superhuman and everything. It's like something out of it. But the weird part is in the third movie, in Krish 3, when he is, there's one scene where he's working in a restaurant, I guess. He, comes into finds a surprise party at his girlfriend's place, and they throw this big surprise party, and all of a sudden he just starts having this music video. All these dudes are coming out of nowhere, coordinate dancing, talking about her, this girl, and he's like spotlights and everything, and a band behind him. I'm like, how did this all just happen? When did this turn into a music video? And this doesn't happen just once; it happens 3 times. Because the second and third time, the second time it happens, this music video, they're automatically in this debt. It's with the alien girl who ends up in love with the heroine, and then next thing you know, she's in love with him. So they ends up having a music video for her, and she ends up having this scene where she's in this elegant, exotic outfit, and he's in like a ripped open shirt with his pecs out, and they're singing together in this abandoned desert, singing all this stuff, singing in their language and stuff, and I'm just like, and it's all hallucination, may I add you. So I'm just like, why is this going on? What? This just, it went from her just staring at a statue of him to all of a sudden just hallucinating that she's in this music video world with this guy. So it's crazy that and then another thing which was weird was little deformed things about it. I don't know if this, but the actor, I believe the actor has a condition where he has a deformed thumb.
Okay.
It's weird because I thought it was just something with my head playing in my eyesight when I watched it, until I saw certain angles in the camera, and basically what it is, it's like his right hand has 2 thumbs, literally in one finger.
Yep.
Like an ingrown extra thumb.
Has that.
Yeah.
My friend actually has that.
It's like 2 thumbs together, like put together in one thumb, and I'm like, it was the creepiest thing. Yeah. I couldn't stop staring at it, Mark. That's how weird it was.
You don't see it very often.
Yeah.
That's
so
the thing is that, unless you have friends or people you encounter on a daily basis, it's not. He's gonna be like, wait, what?
Yeah. I believe the condition preaxial polydactyly. Yep. I believe that's what it is. It's basically
polydactyl.
Polydactyl, which is basically 2 thumbs in one hand. The muscles, tendons, the blood vessels are divided with each form of it, and they might be separated or fused together. But yeah, he apparently the actor has that condition because it was literally on his thumb, and I just could not staring at it. I've never heard of this condition before until I had to research about it. Then the third movie I watched, which was completely different, was a movie called Robot, and it was about this actor, this scientist, and he creates a robot to look more lifelike. And apparently the actor who's playing the scientist also plays the robot, but you can obviously tell that because he's wearing fake facial hair, trying to look old and looking different. But the actor who plays the robot, and the way they made him look, might try to make him look like a Bollywood Terminator with sunglasses and everything, leather jacket and such. But then the story arc, how they had the story arc, was apparently in the story, the robot starts having more personality because of this, his scientist co-workers started implanting more personality into the robot. The robot falls in love with the scientist's girlfriend. He ends up rivaling it. Then the scientist realizes the robot has been doing deeds behind his back. So then he destroys the robot. The robot wants to revenge against him. So then he ends up being replicated by a rival scientist who wants to use the technology for his own. And then the scientist ends up getting killed by that robot himself when he's resurrected. And he kidnaps the girlfriend for his own slavery, and creates duplicate versions of himself. And the scientist, and this is when I realized I was right about the actor playing both the scientist and the robot. The scientist's idea to save his girlfriend is to pretend to be a duplicate of that robot. And they have this entire montage where it obviously is supposed to look like they're shaving his face and dyeing his hair to look like the robot and dress like the robot. And I'm like, you can obviously see it's the actor who's playing it. Why are you doing this? So then it comes to the point where the military are supposed to be attacking this robot, and they end up using this duplicate the duplicates, and these duplicates are like you know, like those Roblox and stuff like that, like when like these little figurines that like have magnets on their feet and hands, and they like connect together, and like you make all these weird obstructions with these.
Yeah.
Similar to like that. They had CGI where literally it looked like that. It was basically like the, CGI where all the duplicates, including the main robot, was shaped as these things, like a giant ball or a giant pillar. And then there's one moment it's like a giant snake. It transformed into a giant snake. Like literally a giant snake made out of little robot bodies of this guy. Like it wasn't even half trying. The CGI was so horrible, and it was like the robot was the snake was grabbing a helicopter and stuff like that, and you can literally look. The thing looks like it's a giant robot dudes trying to form together to look like a snake, and it's terrible. It's so terrible.
That's awful. It's so awful. It's good.
Yeah, and then here's the funny part. Just like in the movies, the movie Krish and Krish 3. In Robot, they have montages, music videos, just like it. There's a montage. The professor is all of a sudden, he's having a music video. He's in this sand desert with his girlfriend. His girlfriend's wearing this exotic white dress-looking outfit, you know, dancing and singing and everything. And he's got his shirt out, pecs open, and this dude looked like he's like 80, 90 years old, so he doesn't even have any muscle on his chest.
Roshi.
Yeah, and he's like old. He's literally look older than the girl. The girlfriend looks twice younger than him. They don't even look like they're the same age. The dude looks old. The actor looks so old, and he's like got a guitar, like he's trying to play the guitar, singing the songs. I'm like, this is terrible. And then when the robot starts having fantasies of him with the girl, the scientist's girlfriend, he started having music videos. And then there's these videos where...
Oh no, it's contagious.
Yeah, so it's the videos of his scene, his dramatic scenes of his music videos. Like, he's with her and she's wearing this crazy contraptions on her body, looking like she's from Ghost in the Shell herself or something. Like she's like a body suits and metal pieces on her body and stuff like that. And they're coordinating robot dances. And you know, there's like the background dancers are all giant silver robots looking people. Like they look like Cybermen from Doctor Who.
Geez,
they look like Cybermen from Doctor Who. They're doing the robot and all this stuff. And while they're doing all that, he you know, they have like 3 different areas that's like that. The first one is like everybody's in silver. And then the second one is everyone's in gold. And then she ends up and then in the third video, you know, they're wearing outfits that match with the, you know, the scenery and stuff like that, because it's like gold and silver backgrounds. The third one is like they're in this super secret base. He's wearing black, like a leather outfit with gold trimming on it, and she's wearing this suit that, honestly, Mark, if you've seen it, you would have sworn she was dressed like Wonder Woman. Her outfit looks like a knockoff Wonder Woman costume. It's so fucking hilarious. And she's dancing and singing, and then they have one scene of the film on the song where she's rapping in English, and it's so fucking bad. I'm just like, you can tell they had some English singer or rapper write the song for her, because she's just so horrible. And like, but the way her outfit was is like something like, honestly, she looked like a superhero. She looked like Wonder Woman, a Wonder Woman knockoff outfit she was wearing, and you know, and all the robots are dancing with them. And like I said, it just cuts to these random parts in the movie, and I'm just like, why is this happening? Is this every Bollywood movie is like this? All of a sudden, I'm with my girlfriend. I just want to tell you how much I love you by doing a random music video, and everybody's just coordinating and stuff like that.
It's because everybody's got such a short attention span now that they gotta spice it up and be like, look, it's unpredictable. What's gonna happen next? You don't know.
Jeez. What's so crazy?
Like, have you seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure yet?
Of course.
I didn't know. I've been late to the party. So.
Yeah, I've known of JoJo since the games and the manga interest on the case of it.
So I got to the end of the second season. Oh my god. I had so many moments where I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't want to do spoilers, but the one, you know, where the one shit. How do I say this without spoiling it. When they were at the place that had the crystals growing out of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and the main bad guy was guitaring her leg.
Yeah.
I fucking
The thing
died.
is
I'm like, it was so out of character. I'm like, wait.
here's the thing. I tried to make a drinking game out of the episodes with Joseph Joestar in him.
Oh, Jesus.
When he says, "Oh no," and "Oh my god," and "Holy shit," every time he says that, you take a drink. You can make a drinking game out of that, Mark.
Yeah,
Oh no!
Whenever he said, wait,
When he says, "Oh no," or
Caesar,
"Oh my god,"
Caesar,
Yeah.
Caesar.
Yeah. "Oh no," or "Oh my god," or
Yeah,
"Holy
I've been watching
shit."
I've been watching the dubbed version.
No, you need to watch the Japanese version. It's better. It's hilarious. My boy Richie Branson made a song out of it. The fact that he put that clip in the song makes it even more hilarious. Oh no! I'm like, you actually know about that joke? But he's like, I had to put it in the song. I was like, it's so random in the song too, but it makes so much sense. But if you watch the Japanese version, it's even more hilarious on that case.
Yeah, no, I saw it was a compilation of all the English that was in it, and it was so funny.
But it's like that on the whole show. It's so funny on that. And then like one time my brother was he was sucking on a lemon head. He starts pulling the tongue moves like Joseph did.
I haven't gotten there yet. Like I said, I'm only up to the second season.
Okay, but yeah, most of the people at home.
What you're talking about.
Yeah, most of the people at home probably know what I'm talking about too. But it's just so funny. But yeah, I have my brother got me into watching JoJo because he was a fan of the games that came out in Japan, because we used to play the emulator games, and then he read the manga. He got me into the manga because he was watching that, and I believe Ronin Warriors, which is American terminology of the animation, I believe it is.
Classic.
And so he started watching that. He likes most of his anime. He likes mythology backgrounds within that, so that's why some of the stuff in it. So JoJo's right up there.
I was just gonna say that's part of the reason why I love that, because they like to intersperse history in it as well as making their own mythology, and it's just like, oh, that's so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And their twists and turns, just it keeps you on your toes. There's no filler like in Dragon Ball Z, and it keeps moving. It is fast.
Yep.
Like, honestly, the first season's only 9 episodes. Like, shit. Like, it moves really fucking fast.
Really quick. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
So if you're dreading, like a Dragon Ball Z moment in there, it never comes, because they don't stop, for the exception of actually like filling the people in, filling the audience in on things or explaining things, but that's interspersed throughout it, so it doesn't seem like it's just like this, oh, I've got to wait until I power up or do whatever.
It's really crazy.
Oh god, I'm so hooked on it right now.
Oh no,
I'm gonna probably watch it whenever we're done here.
I'm
getting to the 3rd season with Jotaro.
Oh yeah, I get you. But yeah, when it comes to like anime like that, in some cases of it, it's right up there. But geez,
because I had no idea what to expect from it, and it really surprised me in the best way.
A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that did that for me in some cases too. Like
because you got this conception about it before going into it, especially if you've seen bits and pieces like I have of it. Like, I had no idea that it's broken into 4 or 5 actual giant sections where a giant gap of time has happened, and I like that they have that scope, because a lot of times it's like, oh, 3 seasons later, it's only like 2 days later, and it's like with this, it's like, well, shit. 50 years here, 50 years there. That's nothing. So, but yeah, what were you gonna say about Ronin Warriors? Hello? Hello, hello.
Oh yeah, no, but no, I wasn't saying about uh, what's it called, or Ronin Warriors. It was more on the
Yeah.
fact of um, anime in general. There's been anime that has done that to me in general. Of
Oh yeah.
that has happened for like to go completely left field. Oran Host Club, Social Club.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I that one took me aback because a couple of my friends are like, no, no, you need to watch it. I'm like, what, this girly shit about boys in this club flirting with girls? I don't want to see this girly stuff. And they're like, no, 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 you need to watch it. And I watched it on Netflix, and I just could not stop laughing. It shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, how is this just makes you think it's one thing and it's completely not that? So it took me aback for a lot on that. But like I said, there's been a few anime that's done that for me. Um, the only anime that didn't, that honestly, like the only anime that I've considered my favorite that didn't get, that I wasn't getting into, that someone had to introduce me to, is actually Tenchi. That's the only one that I can honestly say, because it took my brother to get me into Tenchi, just like I got him into Dragon Ball Z. But it's even though he'll never admit to it. But in the case of when it comes to certain shows like JoJo and Fist of the North Star
Yeah.
and Hunter x Hunter, which I'm just getting into now, um, stuff like that is surprising in the case of it. It is. So, but yeah, it's just it throws it off in the ways that and these Bollywood movies. Like, I've never seen a Bollywood movie until I watched those three films, and I was just like, if this is like that with every movie, I'm wondering if they ever done anything really, really heavy dramatic, and then they have a music video in between, just like it. Because these
yes.
movies were super. These were both sci-fi films. These were both
Yeah. No,
more
they
middle.
do
middle
have serious ones with music in it. My mom and my sister actually watched a bunch of them quite some time ago, and so I would peek in every once in a while. But yeah, no, they actually do incorporate it as much as they can in the music and everything, because that's a big part of their entertainment and culture and everything.
Okay, because see, I've always wondered that. I'm new. For those ladies and gentlemen who don't know,
Yeah.
I'm new to this Bollywood thing because I've only heard of it from outside in the parodies, but I've never known if it was an actual like if it was all like that with if it's the same material like that with a lot of films. Because not even Japanese and Korean films that I've watched are like that. I've not even seen Japan and common films, and there are certain films from those certain countries and nationalities, and that that it's based on those certain perspective things.
Yeah, they fall into their own tropes sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just like, as I said, it got my attention in the case of it, but at the same time, it shocks me on that to knowing about that case of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with Bollywood, it doesn't always have to, but they do it a lot with it.
okay,
One of those where it's not every single thing has to be that, but they do very much enjoy it, and that's what they like to do when incorporating music into it.
okay. Because see, I've said, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just really strange in the case of it, and I only saw it from one perspective of a genre from their films of it, with those three films in particular. Because like I said, they're basically they're science fiction mediocre, not like heavy humor and more drama. So they were just right in the middle. So I don't know if it's ever like that with them. Because I watched a Spanish film. I forgot the name of it. And it was a movie. It was basically a movie about short stories that dealt with love. And this was something that was normal, but it was just the fact of I hadn't watched a Spanish film in a long time because and it was basically like the story. It was basically all stories that was released on love. It was a movie, but it was a movie of 5-6 short stories dealing with love, romance, and infidelity and stuff like that. Like there was one story about this guy who is a bad gambler who made a bet with his friend who gambled. He lost the gamble, and the wager was if he lost the gamble, he would lose his wife to his friend. And so his wife and his maid saw if they switched places, then he would he can keep his wife and he won't notice. But instead, when they switch places, the guy ends up tricking him and saying he'll take his maid instead, which is what his maid is actually his wife disguised as a maid. So, and then there's another story of this girl who is trying to find love, and she ends up realizing that most of the guys she slept with in her class, they can't put out because she wants to lose her virginity with someone special. She ends up losing her virginity, and then at the end, she ends up losing her virginity to an older gentleman who actually is married and didn't tell her, and she ends up getting attacked by his wife. Then there's another story where this girl and this guy are dating, and she thinks he's cheating on her with her best friend. But in reality, he's not, and he assumes that she cheated on him with his cousin, but his cousin is gay. It's really crazy. It's crazy because what's funny is it starts out they end up having sex, and they wake up. He goes to the bathroom. He talks to her friend on the phone, and she's like, "He must be cheating on her behind my back. He must be cheating on me behind my back. I bet you that." So she ends up, talking to her cousin. And her cousin's like, does he do anything weird and stuff while I'm gone? He's like, and then he talks, and then her boyfriend comes in there. And he's like, I had to go with your cousin because she was drunk one time and she tried to make out with me, but I didn't make a move on her. And they show a clip of her drunk, taking off her clothes, stripping naked, trying to kiss him, and he's trying to get her in bed. And he's like, and she's like, I knew you cheated on me. And she's like, that's why I told you. That's why I was going to tell you that I cheated on you behind your back, because I knew you would cheat on me. And then they show a clip of her flirting with his cousin and taking him into another room. And then he ends up, what happens is her friend comes over with the phone and takes a video camera, and she gives him a ring that he was supposed to propose to her, because that's what it turns out it happens. Yeah. He was trying to get it set up so he could propose to her for a marriage. Oh, and she's like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. See, I just lied to you. I didn't actually have sex with him. I was making it up. It was a lie. And he's like, well, I don't know now because you cheated on me. I'm the one who didn't do wrong. You're the one who cheated on me. Oh, so then they start arguing all the way out to there in the park. And the girl, her friend, is still recording. And he's like, give me the ring back because I'm not going to marry somebody who cheated on me with my cousin. And she's like, I didn't cheat on you. I told you, I lied to you because I thought you had cheated on me. And his cousin comes over with his sex partner, and he's like, this is my boyfriend. We're actually gay. And he's like, oh, so you did cheat on her. And then everybody's just like happy after that. I'm just like, that's so fucking hilarious. Everybody's doing this whole runaround. And then there was this weird story where all these like 60, 70-year-old people are dressed like children. I don't know if they do this in Spain or something like that. It's it's a group of kids. They're supposed to be dressed as kids, and they're obviously supposed to be kids, and they're trying to learn about sex ed. And they end up learning about sex ed by having sex with each other.
Oh, jeez.
And they're literally showing them have sex with each other.
Oh, my God.
There was this one guy who's dressed like a kid who's supposed to be dressed like a clown, and he's having sex with one of the school girls.
Oh, Jesus.
And again, Mark, these so-called actors who are playing kids look like they're in their 50s and 60s, like they're old people. And it's really grotesque. It's one of the weirdest videos ever I saw. I'm just like, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, name of the show, of the movie, let me know. But that was one of the weirdest stories. But
yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, that was really, really weird. It was that movie. It wasn't anything like the Bollywood where it's like, all of a sudden like there's a story. We have a romance with these people. Let's move it into a music video. Coordinated dances, same music. The pantomiming of the voices with their music and their lyrics don't even go together.
Yeah,
the fact that the voiceovers and dubbing and stuff, they're not even in the same accent. They're doing coordinating, straight choreography, dancing, all this stuff. Tons of people, like 400, 500 people, are dancing with each other. None of these people know each other. The band is hitting in the midst of this. So I'm like, I'm just like, what the heck is going on?
It's just like if you want your ADD to explode, go ahead, watch it.
Yeah. but yeah, it's that is
It's just crazy shit.
exactly. But when it comes to uh, you know, it's the fact of it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting on the case of it.
Yeah, it's engaging. That's why it was.
But how long have your
why they do
sisters,
that.
how long have your family known about those movies? What got them
It's
into them?
oh shit! Let me think. I think. Well, we've always been, history buffs and things like that for most of our lives. So we always tend to reach out internationally to different things that we like or are interested in. I think the one thing was, I think one of her friends had stumbled onto Bollywood and then showed her, and so that she actually got back in. She actually got into it, and it's been at least 10 years. Yeah, it's been over 10 years. Hold on, let me look at something real quick. Do you remember when Star Fox Adventures came out?
Oh God, I can't think about Star Fox Adventures without thinking about John Tron's video review of it.
Oh, okay. None of that.
Yeah,
but no, I was playing that game, and I was being interrupted by them having to watch their fucking Bollywood movies. I'm like, damn it! I'm like,
so like in the background,
let me play my game.
So it's like in the background, you're just like just do a barrel roll.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. 2002.
Like, God damn it!
It's been like 15 years.
Jesus. Oh no. I know what you
I
mean.
was playing out on the living room TV, and that's where they had to watch it. I'm like, can't you watch it elsewhere?
Where
like,
exactly?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Can't do that.
Oh man. No. My mother didn't know much about it. She actually thought they were related to another culture films because I have relatives. My aunt from Oman, she got us into watching stuff like that. And then there was one point, I got my mom into Korean dramas.
Yeah.
She thought it was similar to that. And I'm like, no. Korean dramas are not the same as
no.
as Bollywood movies. No. I still watch Korean dramas time to time. It's just there's one series I really wish I could go back to watching again because if it wasn't for that show, I would have not gotten my brother into Hattori Hanzo. For those the Hattori Hanzo stories, and I wouldn't have ever gotten my mother into watching Iron Chef. We watched the original Iron Chef back in the day when we lived in California. We used to watch it as a family. Those and the Korean dramas. There was the one Korean drama I remember that was so bizarre. I think it was called War of the Roses. And I remember one of the story arcs, one of the story parts in this was one of the men who had a crush on a girl was so upset that she was insulting him. He runs out in the rain. It's a thunderstorm outside. He runs out to get himself killed, and she's feeling so sympathetic. She runs out to him to try to prevent him from committing suicide in the road.
Yeah.
And then it turns out the guy was actually an a-hole. I'm just like, here we are thinking this guy was like, he's like one of me. He's changed his entire
twists and turns.
Yeah, and it's twists and turns, and it's so freaking crazy. And I think by the end of the show, the girl ends up having cancer and dies.
Oh jeez.
And I'm just like, that's the end of the show? She dies in cancer? That's it? That's terrible. That was just as bad as the ending for Torchwood. So I
still haven't seen.
You're so late on that, Mark.
No. I'm not late because I know it's a piece of shit.
No. First, second season is okay. Do not watch the Star seasons. Only stick with the BBC.
Everything up to Miracle Day.
Okay, then you're good. Everything up to Miracle Day. Just do not watch Miracle Day. Miracle Day was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Did they make more after that?
No, but the people have been trying to still petition for more of it from Miracle Day. The reason why I said this to people, I said the moment that Davies passed his story arcs to Stars and BBC was done with it, it got stupid. That's why I said I'm like, if it stuck with the original, it would have been fine. And everybody who was in part of the show was like, we don't understand why it did happen, but it was just. But yeah, I don't want to go too much on that because my Whovian side will just go crazy. That's why everybody's telling me about. Because like for those out there who
don't tell me about anything in the new seasons with Capaldi because I haven't watched past his first season yet.
Here's the thing, I'm iffy on Capaldi, even though he's planning on leaving after this season. It's already confirmed on that.
Yeah, no, I knew that one. Yeah,
but I am not.
Like I said, the first season was kind of
Yeah,
and then the second one I heard was crap, and then I heard it got better or something. I heard it got better eventually.
It did get better eventually because people have to remember Capaldi was the doctor that influenced him was Tom Baker. He puts a lot of Tom Baker into his doctor. You can even hear it in the voice. He does a really good Tom Baker impersonation, which is why I like about it. Just like Tennant's doctor was Davidson, who is his father-in-law.
Yeah, no.
My problem is the spin-offs. This Class series, I am not invested in. I am not interested in, not one bit. I do not understand why this show needs to be existent. Because we had 2 other spin-offs before. We had Torchwood and we had the Sarah Jane Chronicles. We don't need another spin-off. That has nothing relevant to it. Class has no relevance to Doctor Who other than the fact of the classes and the school that takes place in the same universe as Doctor Who. That's it. And of course, the fact that Capaldi makes an appearance as the Doctor in several episodes. But it's not necessary. Sarah Jane Chronicles had more relevance because Sarah Jane was a big part of the companion story arc in Doctor Who. She, having her own series was expected. Like, honestly,
it was decent enough.
Torchwood, same relevance. The fact of Captain Jack's his involvement in the series makes sense. Class has no part of that. It doesn't need to exist. That's my problem. Unless Class has any relevance with one of the companions in detail, whether it's Clara or Amy Pond at the time Smith and Capaldi was is Doctor, we don't need it. We don't need it. That's my problem. I have nothing against the new companion Bob. I have nothing against her. I can't speak on that person. But honestly, Class was not needed. Class is not a relevance. And that's my only thing about it.
Talk about Class.
Yes.
Like elaborate on that.
Class is basically a spin-off that's another spin-off of Doctor Who universe. And it's about a group of kids who find paranormal situations happening to their school.
So it
includes it has the relevance.
I haven't heard anything about it yet.
Because the thing is the story arc revolves around a group of kids who all see these paranormal alien investigation things happening in their school that deals with their student body and their faculty and deals with a lot of alien things. And of course, in the show, like most Doctor Who spin-offs, it does involve appearance by the Doctor himself in a few episodes. Capaldi is said to be in the season of the series in a few episodes. He does appear in episodes, just like Tennant and Smith appeared in the Sarah Jane Chronicles in a few episodes. I believe Tennant was in 2 episodes and Smith was in 1 episode. The only show that does not have the Doctor, the character, other than the Doctor not in the show, that was not in there was Torchwood. Martha Jones appeared in Torchwood in frequent episodes, but none of the Doctors appeared in Torchwood.
Yeah.
Because of course the first and second season took place between Tennant and Eccleston's story arc of the Doctor's story. So, but Class is all it is just it's at the same school that the Doctor usually goes to, so then stuff start connecting within that. It's no relevance, none at all. And I personally just like.
I wish they would actually do a proper, crap.
A spin-off?
My brain just exploded.
Yeah. No.
Captain Jack. The Captain Jack Chronicles. That's what they need to do, is make one that says Captain Jack Chronicles, where he goes across, it's similar to the Doctor, but not so much in time.
Mm-hmm.
But he can go around in different places and stop things like that instead of it being limited to just the Earth or things like that, because it's boring.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Doctor for, hey, look at these fantastic places. I really, really got pissed when they started doing the whole the domestic approach, and they even used that in the series. And no, it's the domestic approach where, well, let's do all the thoughts and feelings and everything else instead of sci-fi. They forgot how to sci-fi without adding bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah,
it pisses me off.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous. It does get ridiculous. That's why I'm like, honestly, that's the only reason why Torchwood was interesting to me with Captain Jack involved in the show. But when it came to the point where like Jack was like exiting from the show for a while, it was half and half. But to be fair, to be honest, in some cases about it, a story arc that just revolved around just Jack and not the other members of Torchwood would have been more interesting, honestly.
Yeah,
because and I'm pretty sure John Barrowman would have loved to have done it. I mean, I'm happy for his success playing Merle in the Arrow and DC TV universe. I'm happy for him on that, but I'm pretty sure he would have loved to have done it because he loved playing Captain Jack, and he still gets a lot of appreciation from fans from Torchwood and Captain Jack. So it's understanding. And, from him playing that, and people have asked time to time, I'm pretty sure people have asked for a Torchwood ending just as much as people ask for more Firefly episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, neck and neck. It's just crazy on that. But yeah, and don't even get me started with Firefly. I've already said people...
Dude, I'm there too, don't you worry.
I've told people already before, I'm like, look, if they're saying they're done with it, they're done with it. Let it go. But I do find it funny that two of the stars of Firefly are in Destiny, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Because Cade 6, of course, is Nathan Mal,
Fillion.
And the Warlock leader is played actually by Gina Torres, who is
Zoe.
Yeah. Mal's second in command.
Yep.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, Gina Torres plays the leader of the Warlocks in Destiny.
That's awesome. I said they haven't played Destiny either.
I know. That's what's so. Yeah, you need to get on that so you can join my fire team, dude. You really need to get on that for the PlayStation. But yeah, Cade 6. For those who are not familiar with it, like you, Mark, Cade 6 is the leader of the Hunters, because there's 3 different classes in Destiny: Hunters, Warlocks, and Titans. Titans are the muscles, Warlocks are the sorcerers, Hunters are the gunslingers, the bounty hunters. Nice. Cade is the leader in charge of the Hunters, which is Nathan Fillion's character, which is similar to Browncoats when you think about it. They are similar to Browncoats because Browncoats are hunters, bounty hunters, and outlaws in some cases. They're just rebel outlaws.
Yeah. I saw the preview for the new one.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. The leader of the Warlocks, leader of the Warlocks is this. I forgot her name. And she is Gina Torres plays as the leader of the Warlocks, which is the sorcerers and such of it, the magic people. And then of course the leader of the Titans. I believe his name is Zambar. Who is the this blue-faced looking dude. I forgot the voice actor who plays him, but it's a very famous voice actor who plays his voice. But yeah, the main point is the fact that 2 of the characters of Destiny in a universe that Firefly could put itself into are 2 of the leaders of 2 different classes of Guardians, which is the name for all the terminology for all the people that you play in the game, are played by 2 people who starred together in Firefly. I find it very, very coincidental. I'm like, so basically 2 people from Firefly are basically in Destiny. I'm pretty sure one of the developers at Bungie is a Firefly fan, because I'm pretty damn sure they're going to put, I'm pretty sure, and I'm hoping they do for Destiny 2, they get more people from Firefly involved in the game. That would be awesome.
That would
because
be kind of funny if it would be like an unofficial Firefly kind of game.
yeah, or they would put like relevance hints or references of Firefly in the Destiny universe. That would be kind of cool because
Hmm.
it's crazy enough that when I first found out about the game, and a lot of people are, I'm pretty sure, already put this two to two together. The fact that Giancarlo Esposito, the actor who is in the commercial for the launch of the game, the first game, he's reading from the Jungle Book's excerpt from the Jungle Book, Leader of the Pack, and he actually played the voice of the Leader of the Pack, Mowgli's father, in the Jon Favreau Jungle Book adaptation, which features that same quote from the pack.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I know that's why I said I find it very, very coincidental on that. I don't know if it was Jon Favreau who caught that on, or if it was the people at Bungie who caught that on. But it's kind of weird on that case, sort of meta in some cases. So, but yeah, that instance in that case of it, I found it just awesome in the case of it. But yes, you do need to get on that too. No PC, no Xbox. You need to get on PS4 with Destiny before I start working on picking up my copy in September because I'm so going to be so invested in that game so much. I don't know how long I'm going to be off Overwatch because right now I'm still playing a little bit of Destiny, my first Destiny, only because there's a few missions I still need to finish and a few raids I need to finish, but I have to do them solo because I don't have a fire team. That's the only thing about Destiny that I really have issues with is if you make sure
you need a team, otherwise
you really
can't.
you really need to make sure you secure a team. If you can secure a team that's with you at all times when you play, you'll be fine. If you end up going on there by yourself, gun blazing, is going to be
randos.
a bitch. Yeah.
It's like Overwatch. It's like you gotta have somebody on your team.
Overwatch, you can get lucky depending on who you're with.
Sometimes, but most online anything.
Mm-hmm.
It entirely depends on what the community is made of because a lot of the time, like I've gotten lucky where I've seen some very, very good teams and I've seen some very, very bad teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's ultimately I wish they would be better at the matchmaking algorithms because that shit is always broken for almost every single game I've ever heard of.
I don't know, man. That might be a PC thing because that same thing.
No. Even when I was playing Halo, even when I was playing Halo 3 and Halo 4 on my Xbox, no, that shit was broken. Shit was broken.
Well, all I know is that's aside from the algorithms on that case of it, I have to be careful on my PC gaming because, like I said, honestly, the game that really made me like very questionable about most games now because of that case of it, No Man's Sky.
Hey, okay, I still have it. I was one of the fools who pre-ordered it.
Oh, you poor fool, Mark.
No, hold on. Now, they came back, and they actually fulfilled their promise. They had an update called the Progenitor or whatever update, where they basically overhauled the entire system. I played it before it, and I played it after it. And after it, it actually puts a lot more emphasis on the things that you want. Because what you can do is you can actually recruit people. After the update, you can actually go on board the giant frigates and stuff to actually store shit. You can make a home base and transport back there. It's actually very, very cool.
Okay, so
I have not beaten it yet in the thing. I know I have a feeling of what it is because the internet sucks with ruining shit.
I know the internet, the animal glitchings. The instant crashing in Myst game. There was one point I knew some guy, his ship floated off his freaking base in the planet mid getting materials. I'm like, how did that happen?
Guess what I did? I literally fell through because my ship got stuck on an overhang to a cave, and so it got trapped underneath. because you know how it's supposed to, go up into its specific range.
Yeah.
You can only there's that buffer between you and the Earth or you and the planet, where but it initiated that launch sequence, but it moves slightly forward when it does so. So I landed just in front of a cave. It got stuck in there, and when I went to get out, I was essentially ejected underneath the map. Now, I survived. It took me like 50 fucking minutes, but I survived because I had all my stuff and everything. I'm like, hell no. So I basically, apparently underneath all the planets, there's a layer of invisible water. So I basically just kept swimming and shit, and I was trying not to freeze to death because it was cold. It was a cold planet. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And so what I did was I finally got to a point where I could see that it was relatively, low on the map to that water area. So I tried to get up, but I couldn't. But then I threw one of my grenades down and blew myself back up on top of the map. I'm like, I'm alive!
So you basically used the grenade as a rocket.
Yep.
Okay.
But then, here's where the fucked up part is that I needed to find an outpost or something else so I could actually call my ship to me. And so I had to walk the rest of the way to there and then call my ship to me. It took me another 20 minutes. It was like, oh my god.
Jesus. Yeah. Well,
that was before the update, so I'm gonna guess that they fixed a lot of shit. I think. Let me see if I can't remember.
Yeah, because I'm like,
the update was like 6 or 8 gigabytes. Like they overhauled it.
Yeah.
Now I called this shit too. I called this shit right after everybody was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And I'm like, just wait. They released it so they wouldn't get lynched by their fans.
Yeah, because
so
they call him Scott the worst layer out there. Yeah.
And they used the money and the time to actually be able to make the game what they wanted it to be. Because I've had pinches and deadlines like that shit before. It's not easy. So what happens is that, like I said, they released it, a little bit half done, but then they didn't just take it and run. That's the part that I have to give them respect, is that they didn't just take the money and run. They basically said, okay, we have what we need. We have the time to do it so that the people are off our backs. Because honestly, what else were they going to do if you have a half-finished product and you have to delay it even more? You're going to lose people no matter what you do.
True.
So essentially, what you got to do is you got to cut your losses and be like, we still need it. So what you got to do is you got to be like, here's a game. It's not $60 worth of a game, but here's a game, and we'll be working on it. I know a lot of people that have cut and run, and so like I said, you got to give them credit for that. You have to. So I'm still giving it a chance because you can actually build bases and shit. It's still wonky. I mean, it's gonna be with the a universe that big, but
Yeah, I get you. It's just, I mean, like I said, from what I know, like all the features that was supposed to be in the game and such, and
they advertised a completely different
game. Yes.
Oh yeah, I was pissed because when they started showing all the amazing stuff you could do, like you could access the menus and things from your ship. Can't do that shit.
Nope.
What? Great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's what I was like. When I heard about that, I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm like, the moment that I heard, and then everybody's talking about the crashes and such, and the animal glitchings and everything, I'm just like, I'm glad I didn't invest in that. I'm kind of glad I didn't invest in it. Because that was just...
The animals are ridiculous. Oh my god, I think I have a couple pictures of them, but it's ridiculous. Some of the combinations that they had. Like the... the one where it's the dude playing the recorder of the Jurassic Park theme?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got this big, like, It looks like a bodybuilder that forgot to do leg day.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just this buff ass dinosaur thing. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's
Oh
hilarious.
shit, that was great.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, that's why I'm like, it's stuff like that. It's why I've been hesitant on the case of it. That's why everybody's like, why were you so quick to do the pre-order? I'm like, because I already know they're on the job of it as soon as they had it. Because when the first game came out, they had so many updates in the case of that, but they didn't lie about what was in the game.
Right,
The
right.
fact
No,
that they lied in some cases with No Man's Sky is so many from the multiplayer and everything. I'm just like, okay,
here's
if you're
the thing is that they might not have lied about it as long as they keep working on it. That's the thing that they have to keep doing. Because for me, it's like, yeah, did I think honestly it was a case that they bit off too much because that's what they wanted to. That they wanted to make it that game, but they didn't have the resources. Because honestly, it's like a 6-man crew that made this game. They're
True.
not some AAA company that has the endless resources. Give them a break.
yeah, that is some point understanding.
Right. They don't have the limitless resources of every other AAA stuff.
Yeah, true. I just feel like the fact of like there's so much more skeptic in the case of on adding on that together that it's not going to.
You got to be wary because I've seen so many others
Mm-hmm.
that have cut and run that it's just like you got to be careful. You got to be willing to do that.
Yep. So like I said, that's why like personally in some cases I understood when I saw that. I was just like, I'm not even gonna just take a chance on that. So, but yeah, it's games like that one. Like I have nothing against the independent guys who are just the small dev teams who are doing that stuff on that. But they need to stay on the job when it comes to
exactly
fulfilling their engagement in the case of it. Because if you realize that case of it and then you put it out there, because like even like Mighty Number 9, when Mighty Number 9 came out in that one, I pledged that game, Mark, and I regret it. I regret it completely. I was like, this was a disappointment.
That was one of the instances where no.
And what made it worse is just that Infume just so like it's gonna crash cap, and I'm like, no, we're not expecting this. This game is delayed for more than 2-3 years. You have delayed this development for 2 to 3 years, and the launching moment that happened, it's crashing like this.
Yep, and see that's what I think No Man's Sky was trying to prevent from delaying it for 3 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they wanted something that they could give the people, even if it wasn't complete. Yeah, no, it sucks, but guess what? The rest of it is coming, and you don't have to pay extra for it. You don't have to pay extra for a DLC or bullshit.
No. That's true. That's why I'm like, in some cases, I partly understand, but it disappoints me when in that case of it. But but the cases like even my number, it's like that I never experienced it before. But No Man's Sky was the second round. It's like, well, I already dealt with Mighty Number 9 with that situation. I'm already seeing what's going on with No Man's Sky. I'm very skeptical on that. So I'm not sure. So I don't know. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, it's hesitant with that in the case of it. But like beer company,
it's good to be skeptical. But another thing of my problems with it was that they weren't transparent like you need to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying that they were lying. They weren't exactly lying. They just weren't being very transparent.
Yes, because the publicity
the same thing.
Because the publicity was really getting bigger. They were getting so much exposure to the point where
had the hype train exploded.
Except it was just and like to see all that going down, I'm like, such a letdown. And I've looked at so many failed attempts from people from they're playing the game, seeing how much time they crashed, and I'm just like, and had I not known about the updates that frequently been going on still within the game of it, because I'm like, and that's why like I'm hesitant on getting PC versions of certain games too, because like I was planning on getting Arkham Knight the PC port for that one until I found out how much that one was turning really shitty. And I was just like,
it all depends on what platform you're on too, because I know that some of them play better on certain platforms on your PC, and it depends on what kind of hardware you have too.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, especially because you got to look at all the people that are saying that things have been crashing and this, that, and the other. Look at their specs, look at their rigs, look and see what they have, because there's so many different ones. It might be that their Java is has a memory leak or something, or a null exception is going on with that. You don't know until you actually truly look at it. It might be something on their end, not the game's end. But
Yeah.
but if you get so many people doing that, then it's obviously not just the computer.
Yep. Yep. And I, in the case of, with those certain developers, like that's why I'm hesitant when it comes to my PC development soon. Because like I said,
Yeah.
eventually I'm going to have to. Because like I said, for stuff like Overwatch's case of it, I'm going to have to.
Well,
And-
it's not only that, but it's a lot easier to be able to stream stuff and podcast that stuff if you want to do that also. In addition to, because
Yeah.
for me, my biggest thing that I love about the PC gaming, and don't get me wrong, exclusives and consoles are amazing. I used to be a definite PC gamer because I liked having it. I liked having specs on it that I didn't have to mess with. However, it limited the amount of stuff I could do. Like, for instance, Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Vanilla Minecraft is good, and it's a very good game. My biggest thing that I love about it is its modular nature. It's mods and everything else that you can put on it. You can you can put bits and pieces and packs and everything else onto it. You are limited by that on your consoles, on the Xbox, everything like that. You only have a specific amount of mods you can put on it.
Mhm.
And the thing I love about PC is that it's limitless. You can literally put any mod on it. And I love that fact. You have such a realm to build. Essentially, you can build your own game in it. If you want zombies, you can have more zombies. If you want nuclear weapons, you can have nukes and everything in there.
Of course.
Galacticraft is amazing because it involves you going to all the planets, and you have to actually seal, an oxygenated room, and you have to do, solar panels. It is super freaking cool to do Galacticraft.
I know.
It is so awesome.
Yeah, I was actually reading about the developers for the Conan game are opening dev kits for mods out there.
Nice.
From that case of it, they're giving free range for that, so make the more game experience. So I'm not knocking on that. As I said, people think I'm anti PC. I'm not anti PC.
I know it's a little bit. It's daunting at first because there's so much, and that if something goes wrong, you got to be the one to fix it. You can't
Exactly.
just be like, help me support.
Exactly, and that's
but,
what. Yeah,
but
that's
me,
what his-
myself, I've had so much experience with dealing with the bullshit that I know what to look for most times, and I also have friends and coworkers that, like, if shit goes wrong, I know who to ask if I don't know or I can't figure it out.
Mhm.
So it's one of those where you gotta keep some awesome friends and be like, I need help. If things go wrong, be like, I need so much help.
Yeah. If anything, I feel like in some cases when it comes to the PC games, in the case of it, I still have a lot of research to do on that case of it when it comes to that. Eventually, ladies and gentlemen, if they're watching, I will be getting into PC gaming. It's just console gaming is easier for me at the moment right now, but I'm not anti PC. It's just a lot to keep up with in that sense about it. So that's my only thing when it comes to that. But before we end this show today, because I think that's pretty much wraps up everything that we have on today, just a few things I want to get out on the side, mention about that. If anything, aside from Kalasakan, I am in the next issue of Sour Magazine, so make sure you go check them out as well. You can follow them, Instagram.com/Sour Magazine. Check out their stuff. Most of my work has been featured with them. Also, if anything, make sure you guys check out my Instagram. I regularly on there and check out my works on the net. I want to thank also everyone who has been hosting our channel for tonight's episode. of the podcast, GI Toes, Hollow Feast, Reno 2K, Miss Lady Lemon, Colby Plays, Nate 1022, and my good friend Castile Fields, aka Casey Elder, who will be on the show in a future episode soon once we get everything set up with her. If you guys can, go check her Patreon out, patreon.com// Castile Fields. That's CASTEELSFEELS. Check that out. She has a lot of prints, Polaroids, a lot of photos that she puts out, videos, behind the scenes work. She's really great on there. Hopefully when she comes back to the States, or when I run into her in the States again, since she's in Alberta, I will be shooting with her soon. We've already confirmed that. And if you can, don't forget to help her boyfriend Jay out as well, who is, of course, one half of Filthy Casual, one of my favorite gaming clothing lines. You pretty should know about Filthy Casual because everyone from Jessica Negri to Meg Turney wears Filthy Casual. FilthyCasual.com, which is with all their cool stuff. I also wear some of their stuff as well. Big shout out to Filthy Casual. If you go to their website right now, they are having a spring sale right now, which is 20% off everything in the store, from hats, shirts, ball hats, jackets, tank shirts, and for the ladies, tank top and sweater dresses exclusively for you ladies out there. They also are having a liquidation on some of their older clothing works as well, from their Pokemon themed shirts to some of their most popular shirts like the BFG shirt, inspired by Doom, Pokemon casual trainer shirt, and of course my favorite shirt, the Overwatch tee, which I also own myself. You can also check out their limited edition shirts from other places like the Rooster Teeth store, with featured shirts from them with Rooster Teeth and Kinda Funny. Definitely check them out as well. Go to filthycasual.com, check out their stuff there. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram as well. Check out their stuff as well. Casti, I know, models a lot of their stuff as well. Shout outs to Case Castillo, Jay, Mike, and Darshell Stevens, the form team of Filthy Casual, who I got to meet at New York Comic Con. Hopefully I'll be seeing them again, either at New York again soon, or if they come to any of our Ohio conventions. Hint, hint, if you can come to Colossicon, that would be awesome. Me jumping on that case of as well. I really do. I really hope they do, because Darshell has family in Michigan, so I'm hoping that I can get them to come down here, since Jessica is coming down here as well. So, but thank you to everybody who's hosted your channel. Shout out to my favorite team, Team No Sleep, who also hosted my channel as well. Shouts to Stacy Rebecca, cosplay, for hopefully you'll be getting well soon, Missy. Also my friend Candice with an X instead of an A. Hopefully I'll be seeing her as well soon. Also thank you to my friend Jenna Kills. For those who don't know who Jenna Kills, for those Jenna Kills out there. And of course, shout out to Mama Masaki for interrupting our podcast earlier today, for starting up with a bang with that. So with that being said of it, also I think there's one other thing I also want to mention in the case of it. Aside from Castile Fields' Patreon, Darshell's Patreon, there's also a Patreon that I really think you guys should support, called Cosplay Culture Magazine. Now, for those who don't know, this is a magazine that's independent, but it's a legit cosplay magazine that I think really needs to get published. They have a Patreon as well, patreon.com/COSculture. I think we should give them some support too, because these guys, their cosplay magazine is really, really good, interesting detail, and I would love to publish my work with them as well for my cosplay photography. These guys really put a lot of detail into their cosplay work with some of the cosplayers and stuff. I think they've got a lot of people in there. Right now, they're trying to at least get up to 2,000 to put out an issue per year, but if they can reach up to 20,000, they could do the milestone for 20,000. They could at least put out a monthly issue, which would be great, which will feature couple features, interviews with cosplayers and such. And I really think they should come to Colossicon as well. So I'm going to pimp them out. If you want to check out their work, you can check it in the link description. I'll put it in the link description below on my YouTube channel when this video goes up. Or you can check my Twitter page and you can check them out too. I'll also link their Patreon on Twitter as well. So I figured I just give them a shout out real quick because their magazine, I've checked out their magazine, their digital copies. They really are intricate with their stuff, and we need a cosplay magazine. The last cosplay culture magazine we have is barely even still in print. I believe only 2 issues I know of, and it's Ivy Doom Kitty and Jessica Negri are on the covers. But the same people behind Word Up Magazine is responsible for this magazine, and it's barely gotten any updates since Jessica's issues came out. And I really feel unless they can bring their website and their development team up to speed, we're not going to get a magazine for cosplay. We really need one. I mean, we don't have an anime magazine as much anymore since New Type is limited now only in Japan, since they no longer publish here in America. We really need a cosplay magazine here in the States. I really think it's a culture that's getting bigger now to the point where we're getting TV shows and such like that. We really need one. So if you guys can, go sign up for their Patreon. They got a lot of good rewards and such like that. So go check them out. Again, I'll give out links and if anything below. But that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys for everything. Mark, you got any last words, buddy?
Yeah. If you guys need any props made, just check me out. Lead the Way on Facebook. I might be rebranding soon. I was thinking about possibly taking it in a different direction that might incorporate my last name of Altmus, which I love my last name, so who knows? That might happen soon. But yeah, thank you, Yoku, and hit us up. Let us know what you want to see in the next episodes, because I only got so much brain power.
It's fine.
Things to think about.
But thank you everybody for out there for giving us the topics and stuff. If you got any topics that you guys think that should be on the show, make sure you send them to us through my Twitter page or through my Facebook page, who is Yoku Masaki. I'll definitely check all my questions and everything there, or just send them to me through Instagram or all my social media pages or email. You know where to find me on all my social media to find out on the case of it. With that being, and also aside from that, I may have a bonus episode later this week with one of my good friends who will be filling in for co-hosting with me tomorrow. But it won't be out probably until 9 p.m. Same place, same time, right here on Twitch, or you'll see it exclusively online through there. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching today's episode. I will catch you guys next week or tomorrow. And as always, until then, later days.
Stay nerdy.